The Legend of the Holy Drinker, 1988, directed by Ermanno Olmi and starring Rutger Hauer, is a profoundly moving film that often slips under the radar when discussing the great works of 20th century cinema. This Italian-French production is an underrated gem, quietly weaving a narrative that is both spiritually rich and visually stunning. What sets it apart is its delicate balance between the visual, the emotional, and the existential, a blend that makes it resonate deeply long after the credits roll. At the heart of this film is Rutger Hauer's career-defining performance as Andreas Kartak, a homeless alcoholic ex-miner in Paris, and it is a role that reveals a side of Hauer's acting that had rarely been explored before. Known primarily for his roles as villains and anti-heroes, most famously as Roy Batty in Blade Runner, 1982, and the psychotic hitchhiker in The Hitcher, 1986. Rutger Hauer was often typecast as a brooding, dangerous presence. He had a commanding screen presence that lent itself easily to characters steeped in menace or moral ambiguity. However, The Legend of the Holy Drinker offered a radical departure from the roles that had defined his career. In this film, Hauer portrays Andreas Kartak, a man broken by life but still clinging to a kind of decency deep within him. This role allowed Hauer to showcase his ability to convey a wide spectrum of human emotion, not through grand speeches or explosive action, but through subtle, often silent, acting. Hauer's performance as Kartak is one of great vulnerability and nuance, making it arguably his finest. There's a gentle intensity to his portrayal, as he embodies a man who is both physically and spiritually lost. His character's journey is one of quiet redemption, if it can be called that, and Hauer's haunted expressions, often communicated with little more than a glance or a shift in posture, convey the sorrow and longing that Kartak carries with him. His weathered face becomes a canvas for the many layers of despair, hope, guilt, and fleeting grace that his character experiences. What makes this performance even more remarkable is how much of it is delivered in silence. The Legend of the Holy Drinker is sparse on dialogue, but Hauer uses this to his advantage. His acting style in this film recalls the artistry of silent cinema, where gestures, facial expressions, and body language were the primary tools for conveying emotion. Hauer's portrayal here feels almost timeless, as if pulled from a bygone era of filmmaking. His eyes, often weary and lost, tell the story as much as any line of dialogue could. It is a rare performance where the actor's inner life is laid bare without needing to be verbalized, a true testament to Hauer's skill and depth as an actor. Visually, The Legend of the Holy Drinker is a masterpiece. Ermanno Olmi, known for his thoughtful and unhurried storytelling, creates a film that unfolds with a deliberate pace, much like the spiritual journey that Andreas Kartak undergoes. The cinematography is exquisite, rich in symbolism, and beautifully framed. The streets of Paris are captured with a poetic realism, with the play of light and shadow enhancing the film's dreamlike quality. The use of natural lighting and muted colours adds to the sense of melancholy that permeates Kartak's life. Yet there are moments where the film seems to glow with an almost divine light, perhaps a reflection of the mysterious grace that keeps visiting Kartak, only to slip through his fingers. Olmi's direction allows the audience to sit with the film, to breathe it in, and to contemplate its meaning at their own pace. This leisurely tempo might be a challenge for some, but for those who are willing to engage with it, the film goes deep, very deep, into the human soul. It is a meditation on themes of faith, redemption, and the elusive nature of salvation. The recurring motif of Kartak's promise to repay the 200 francs to a church mirrors the film's exploration of spiritual debt and the weight of one's conscience. Each time Kartak comes close to fulfilling this simple moral duty, something pulls him away, as if the universe itself is testing his will to change. The Legend of the Holy Drinker is more than just a well-acted and beautifully shot film. It is a deeply moving experience that lingers in the mind and soul. The film is not interested in dramatic twists or grand statements. Instead, It invites the viewer to reflect on the quiet struggles of an ordinary man who, despite his failings, is seeking some form of redemption. It's a profound meditation on grace and the human condition, asking questions about fate, moral responsibility, and the possibility of renewal. While the film garnered critical acclaim in Europe, even winning the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival, it remains relatively unknown to mainstream audiences, especially in Hollywood. This is a shame, because The Legend of the Holy Drinker represents the kind of mature, introspective cinema that is often missing from the more commercialized output of Hollywood studios. It is a film that doesn't cater to easy emotions or predictable narrative beats. Instead, it challenges the viewer to slow down, to engage with its quiet beauty and existential questions. If only Hollywood could produce cinema of this standard more often. The Legend of the Holy Drinker reminds us of the power of film to explore the deeper questions of existence without the need for bombastic spectacle or melodrama. It shows that, in the hands of a masterful director and an actor capable of great subtlety, even the simplest of stories, a man trying to repay a debt, can be turned into a profound reflection on life. Rutger Hauer's performance as Andreas Kartak stands as a testament to his versatility and depth as an actor, proving that he was capable of far more than the villainous roles he was often given. In many ways, The Legend of the Holy Drinker is a film that defies easy categorization. It is at once a fable, a spiritual journey, and a character study, all wrapped in a package of haunting visual beauty. For those willing to step into its quiet, contemplative world, it offers rewards that are as rich and enduring as the best works of art. It is a film that, like its protagonist, keeps slipping through the cracks of memory and recognition, but for those who discover it, it remains unforgettable.